What up? Sitting out of the Reverend of the Revolution. Welcome to your daily revolution. Today's topic: 25,000 steps to 20,000. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Another story from good old Disneyland over the weekend. So we found ourselves at Disneyland. I got this new Garmin Fenix 5X. Fenix spelled F-E-N-I-X. This watch is amazing. Pretty much can make you breakfast. Tells you everything that you're doing. Your resting heart rate, your workouts, miles, quarter miles, swimming, biking, you name it, it can tell it. Now, the cool part about this is because I got the new watch, I gave my wife my Garmin 920 XT, which is a great watch. And my wife starts to wear it, and we start to keep track of our steps. And of course, you gotta know my goddess. Boy, she's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful creature. I love her. And she's also very competitive. What do I mean by competitive? Well, when we first met, I was a college football player, a senior at BYU, 6'4", 265, could dunk a basketball easily, could run like a deer, like an impala. And she thought she could beat me one-on-one in basketball, like real talk. And when we played, I beat her 5 times out of 5, and she was discouraged and depressed. Like, she really thought she could beat me. Well, this gives you a little insight into my wife. So we get to Disneyland, and we start to count steps. And, of course, me being the man I am, competitive as well, I said, baby, I'm going to beat you today. I will beat you in steps. And as soon as I fired those shots, I will tell you what happens to a competitive person, to a winner. I'm laughing because my wife said, no, you're not. I said, oh, I'm going to beat you today. She's like, no, you're not. I was like, I will beat you today. Now, I knew that she would get a few steps ahead of me. She always does, just the way that her watch works and the amount of steps she takes. And she was about 2,000 steps ahead of me towards the end of the day. Now, you got to understand, when she's standing in line, she's still moving. She was dancing. Like, she was not going to lose this thing. And it was the end of the day. She's got me now by 3,000. She was at like 22,000 or 23,000. And I was at like 17. 17 or 18. She was ahead of me by a lot. Well, if you've ever been to Disneyland, you recognize that you have to park and then shuttle over a walkover. And in my mind, I knew I'm going to beat her. I'm going to get more steps than her, and I got my plan. When we go to get on the tram or the bus, I'm going to run back to the car and just keep running. I'm going to put 1.5 miles in. So we get back there. She's got me by 3,000 steps. I think she was at... I don't know, again, 22, 23, and I was at 17 or 18, and that's actually more than 3,000. And I take all the family, I said, I'll see you at the car. She's like, where are you going? I was like, I'm running. So I run back, I flip my watch on halfway through the run. I'm like, oh, I should be, timing my run. I get back to the car. I put in 1.5 miles between running from Disney to the tram and running in the parking lot. I beat them back. 1.5 miles. She gets back, and I can see her on the shuttle, walking in place. Now, this, you got to understand, she was committed. You ever meet someone like that who, they could just be so chill, but you put a competition on them, and boy, the competition just brings out the champ. At the end of the day, she finished with 25,000 steps, and I finished with 20. She smoked me. It wasn't even close. And I was so set on beating her. Now, here's a couple key distinctions here. I wanted to complain and, make an excuse. Well, those weren't real steps. You were just walking in place. You were gaming the system. But we didn't talk about having a competition of real steps. We simply said steps on the watch. And I wanted to make excuses, and even though I ran home, I was literally going to get home, and then I was going to go for a 2-mile run. The problem is that our family left their baby bag that had the wallet, and they had to fly out at 5 in the morning, and it was at the Lost and Found, then taken to the Chamber of Commerce. So we go to look for the person. I don't get home till 1 in the morning. And I'm like, dude, she beat me. So here's the lesson. I said, I'm going to beat you, but my wife actually said, no, you won't. And the competition came out. Like, I guess the lesson really is, if you're really committed, you're going to win. And I obviously wasn't committed. How do I know? Because my wife beat me. She beat me. Like, where in your life do you think, like, I'm committed, I'm going to win? Where in your life do you still, like, underestimate what's required to go make the money? What's required to go have the marriage? What's required to get the lean six-pack and health and fitness done? Like, where do you still underestimate? Like I did, my wife. Like, where do you underestimate, like, how much more challenging it's going to be to raise teenagers, children? Where do you still underestimate? That, by the way, is my windshield wipers. Where do you still not fully commit? And, you know, if I was really committed, I probably would have ran more. But my wife beat me, and while I could have made excuses, like I really could have made excuses. I could have said, but those are cheap steps. Even our family was like, yeah, your wife was like just gaming the system. But that's the point. I share this with you because if you're really committed and you're competitive, you will do whatever is required to win. And my wife did what was required to win. And I made this bold declaration, I'm going to beat you. I should have known that when I say that to my wife, she will move heaven and earth. She will not stop. Like, she doesn't stop. And I don't think there's ever been a day where I've beat my wife yet, when I've challenged her. I'm gonna have to challenge her and then know that I'm going for like a 10-mile run that day. And even then, she's going to figure out a way to beat me. So the lesson really here is, like, can you be all in and be fully committed? Or will you make an excuse? I could have made an excuse, but I didn't. So let's take a look at how we apply this to your life. In your physical realm, the body, the fitness, the health, the cardio, the stamina, the endurance. Are you still making up some lame excuse? Well, you know, you just don't understand. I'm big boned. Well, you just don't understand. We have parties all the time. That's why I got to overeat. Well, you just don't understand. I don't have a gym. These are excuses that will get you nowhere. Stop making excuses. Let's take a look at the lesson of fully committing and going all in the spiritual realm. People say, man, God doesn't talk to me, or I don't know the purpose of my life. How about you go all in? What if you just fully committed? That no matter what, you were going to be the person who was all in and you would do whatever was required, like my wife beating me 25,000 to 20. I still giggle about this. Inside of your marriage, we've had people come to immersion and lie on the brink of divorce, moving out, separating, and we would just challenge them, just go all in. What if you just go all in? Like, all in means there is no back door. Divorce is not an option. And the only way that you divorce is if she literally tries to kill you and continues to maybe cheat or, you know, have infidelity in the marriage. Like, that's the only way. Because all in means we're going to figure this thing out. That's my wife. She's all in when it comes time to beat her husband on the steps. She's all in. She can tell she continues to beat me on these steps. And on the business realm. All in, fully committed. Like, all in, I thought I was committed. I was going to get home, but, you know, sometimes you run out of time. I ran out of time because at midnight, the steps reset. Where can you go all in? On your business, on your job? Like, where are you right now still tiptoeing, dipping your toe in? What if you went all in? What if you decided to just put all the chips in and go fully committed? It's what I've done in my coaching practice. That's what we've done in our events. All in looks like, you know, writing the checks to the mentors and coaches, buying the books, buying the courses, attending the seminars, doing what's required, paying the price. I mean, all in. Until you've gone all in, you won't really know that you're all in. Because you'll know when you're all in, because you'll actually win. So that's the story of our 25,000 to 20 steps at Disneyland. I did not beat my wife. And she continues to just show me how committed she is to not losing to me in competitions. This is Satem Mangala reminding you, if you're going to create a life of real radical results, a life that you love, it's going to require you to get into a relentless pursuit with the ruthless commitment to pay the piper every single day so you get to the top of your mountain. So your prize, promise, and some possibilities are waiting for you, just waiting for you get there. Will you join us in the revolution? I'm out. For more info on joining the revolution and living your greatest life of prosperity today, go to www.yourdailyrevolution.com and join us in waking up, turning your brain on, and prospering today.